friends, and welcome back. Today's video is part one of our office setup. Before we jump in, I wanted to get a solid look at what we're dealing with in this room. It had become somewhat of a catch-all space. Its purpose ultimately will be an office, craft, and workout room. So we need to separate those spaces for all of those activities, and we need some massive organization just to be able to function efficiently in here. This is where I do photo editing for our small photography business, where I edit videos for this channel, and also where I pay family bills. I do crafts, I use my Cricut, I do my nails, and then I also work out in here. So I run on my treadmill, I do yoga, I do weight and resistance training on the floor. So a lot has to get done in this space. When we were deciding the best way to organize my craft stuff, I thought that drawers was the best idea, but I know that with the limited area in these closets that I wasn't gonna be able to fit the number of drawers that I would need. So then I figured the next best thing was to get a couple of really big drawers and then have Garrett add shelves. So the rest of the closet can just be shelving. In a perfect world, we would tear down that wall between the two closets, but that just is not in our budget right now. And honestly, I just don't have the mental bandwidth to deal with a project like that. So we found this closet-made base cabinet at Home Depot, and it's pretty cool because it has really deep drawers in there. There's only 3 of them, but I think it'll hold enough stuff that I can get away with adding the shelving on top and then just using baskets or something like that to organize everything else. So this piece was not hard at all to put together. There were just a lot of parts and little moving pieces that needed to go for like the drawer slides and then all the different sides that had to be put together, and it really was a 2-person job. So it looks like it's taking us a really long time, but it honestly didn't. It was just following the directions and trying to figure them out that took most of our time. For the most part, I hate putting furniture together like this. Anything from IKEA or stuff like this that you have to follow directions and piece it all together, it just drives me nuts. I would always rather find something on like Marketplace or something that's already put together and just make it work. But the way that these closets are set up, that just wasn't going to happen. So we had to just bite the bullet and buy one of these modular pieces, which it did turn out really great and it works really good in the closet. So I'm glad that we did that. So the next day I decided to get some of the stuff in the boxes in the back of the room organized, and Cyrus wanted to give me some help, but he really just sat in the corner off camera eating candy from Easter, which is fine because he stayed mostly out of the way. But I have a lot of cords, as I think most people do, that I have no idea what they go to, so I was just getting rid of some of those, mostly like HDMI cords, some old telephone lines that I know we'll never use again, and sorting through all of my photography equipment that I have. A lot of it I don't even use, but I keep it for sentimental reasons or, you know, just in case. And then those bigger boxes in the back are my craft supplies. that I had at my old house that really was not packed away very well, so I had to go back through it all and see what I still had that I still needed, what was I going to get rid of, was there anything that friends could take, and then some of that is like memory boxes. That big purple tote is all memories from middle school and high school and some weddings that I've been in, things like that, and it's followed me from every place I've lived. So that probably needs to be gone through also, but I didn't do it on this day. And then under that pillowcase right there is my sewing machine that needs to find a home, and more cords, more random stuff that I found, and mostly just lots of craft supplies. So this is now later that week. I finally got Garrett in here to hang up these shelves. He's really great about helping me with projects, but he works a very strange schedule, so it's hard to get time that he's actually available for a good couple of hours to sit and do something with me, or to put something together for me, or to work on a project like this. You know, it seems like such a simple thing, but when it's just me and I don't really know how to put up floating shelves, it's just much easier to wait for Garrett. So that's why it's taking a while to get this room specifically done, because a lot of the stuff in here is work that I can't do myself. Also at Home Depot, we found these floating shelves. They're very minimalist and kind of cool, kind of sleek, and I really like that. I needed something just to put the TV on and a couple of our workout equipment stuff on. I really wanted white, but they didn't have it in these particular shelves. So I got this gray oak color, and I'm very glad that I did. It really breaks up the wall. It gives it some style instead of just function. And I think it turned out really nice. And Garrett made it look very simple to hang up. He found a stud for one side so that it's sturdy. Then he put in these drywall anchors that hold up to 30 pounds, I believe. And they're not supposed to do that, but I broke one. But it's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. So my husband works at night and sleeps during the day, like a nocturnal raccoon or something. So most days I only get him for a couple of hours, and on this day he did as much as he could, and then he had to go lay down and get ready for bed. So I decided that I could put the last shelf up, which turned out all right in the end, but it was a little frustrating. It was not as easy as he made it look, but that really happened more towards the end when I couldn't get the shelf and the bracket to line up correctly so I could screw it together in the bottom. Right here's where I was having some trouble getting them to line up, and I realized probably way too late that that cord was in the way, but that actually didn't seem to be the only problem. I had to take it off and put it back on, and then it miraculously did line up, so I really still don't even know what the problem was, but I was feeling a little foolish that day. I got it together though in the end, and it's hanging on the wall still, so I guess I did it right, or right-ish. Hasn't fallen off yet, so that's a win. So right here is probably one of my favorite things I've ever filmed. It's so funny to watch the Nordic track kind of scoop back seemingly all on its own like that. But that thing is very heavy, so there's no way for me to actually just shove it backwards. I had to grab it by the track and just pull it back little inch by inch. So now I wanted to anchor that drawer set to the wall. It came with an anchor and we just never did it on the first day because I wasn't sure how far over I wanted to put it or what we were going to do on the sides. But I think now we've decided we're going to put some corner shelves at the top of it and leave the bottom just open for extra storage for things that maybe won't fit on a shelf. And then inside I was just organizing from my old system, which was a plastic drawer set. I don't know what those things are called, but it worked fine when I first got it. It was great, but the top, you know, you put anything on top of it and it bows in, which makes the top drawer kind of unusable. And I definitely wanted something a little more aesthetically pleasing because this room, while it's just going to be an office, I'm going to be spending a lot of time in here and I don't want to hate my space. You know, I really want to enjoy the time that I'm in here. So that's why we got the wooden drawers, and while we're planning on really making those closets just look really nice and inviting and the whole room to just be a nice place to be, even though I probably will be the only one in here, but I think that's kind of more important anyway. So this is the end of this video, and I wish I could insert a super satisfying before and after here. I wish I was living in the after shot, honestly, but we are still in the progress phase of the work in progress. But here's what the office looks like today. I have added a plant and I have a little stand for my hand weights, and the bifold doors are still resting against the wall because those will not be going back on the closets, but I have been able to get in here and get some work done, and the room is really coming along. So thanks for watching part 1 of this makeover. I hope you'll come back when I have more to show for this room, and stay tuned for the next video. See ya!